You go sit tight. You go sit tight.
Good evening. Welcome. On behalf of our Board of Education and our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. John Stimmel, I'd like to welcome you to Session 2 for our commencement program for the class of 2020. At this time, would you please stand for the singing of our national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner. It will be sung by the Patricia Ann Kubelwood, Mr. Sean Gibbons. Go get him, Sean.
Proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, state our sad star-spangled banner yet wave, for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Great job, Sean. Thank you very much. Please be seated. To begin our commencement program, I would like to introduce the dedicated leader behind the success of our programs throughout our district. He has served the community and the students of Sayville Public Schools for 17 years in the capacity of Cherry Avenue Principal, Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction, and Superintendent. A true gentleman and tremendous child advocate, our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. John Stimmel.
Thank you, Mr. Hoffer. So, those of you who are of a certain age may remember a certain band called the Grateful Dead, and they had a line from a song called "What a Long, Strange Trip It's Been." And so, for those of you who might remember that song, I kind of feel like that right now and what it took for us to get to this point. But now we're here, and now we're together, and I am so honored and so proud to be with you. I have two quick messages to share. First, our world is going through a dark time, but you can be a light in that darkness. Yours has been an eventful and unprecedented senior year. But right now, I want you to go back with me to a time when you were very, very young. When you were that young, there's a chance, like many children, that you were afraid of the dark. Even grown-ups can be spooked by darkness. There's something primeval about it. Darkness kindles fear and gives root to the nightmares of youth. But you were very fortunate. You had loving parents. They came to you when you were afraid at night, and they brought to you a light that soothed your anxiety and allayed your fears. Now that light could have been in the shape of Hello Kitty, or Thomas the Tank Engine, or some other kind of nightlight. But it helped get you through those dark times. Those simple lamps didn't just scatter the darkness. They were, in a way, a reminder to you of how much your parents loved you. As you got older, we found out that ignorance is also a form of darkness. Your family, your churches, community organizations, and of course your teachers have spent the last 13 years instilling in you the light of knowledge. And to paraphrase a quote that hangs on a lot of teachers' walls, your parents, teachers, and other caring adults have not so much tried to fill your bucket with knowledge, but as, in fact, they want to ignite in you a passion for learning and a love for wisdom. Now it is us who have nurtured you to ask you for something in return. No one lights a torch and then puts a bucket over it. You are our torch now going forward. Each one of you has something unique and profound to offer our community. Whether you serve as champions of peace, freedoms, or the ideals that our country is built on, never, ever hold back what you have to offer and always push forward. No matter how dark the world may seem at times, always, always let your light shine. My second message to you is simply this. Our pandemic experience is teaching something that deep down we have always known. Your health and the love of your family are truly your most valuable possessions. Yes, these are very difficult and uncertain times that we are going through. Take good care of yourself and keep your loved ones close, and never, ever, ever doubt that your best days lay ahead. May God bless the Sayville class of 2020. I know that going forth, you will all make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Stimmel. At this time, it's my honor to introduce the Salutatorian for the class of 2020, a gifted student, a leader of her peers, an athlete on the softball and basketball court, and a tremendous person, Miss Lauren Flammenhoff.
Good evening. To start, I would just like to take a moment to thank everyone who worked so hard to give us this graduation ceremony under such trying circumstances. I'm talking to you, Sayville moms. But seriously, many thanks to Mr. Hoffer and the rest of the administration. I would also like to thank all of Sayville's amazing teachers, staff, and coaches for their 13 years of guidance. Additionally, I would like to thank my family for their unwavering support over the years. Lastly, I would like to thank my friends, teammates, and the entire class of 2020. And to anyone who asked me for a shout out, consider this your shout out. I wouldn't be up here without all of you. So obviously times are really unprecedented and challenging and uncomfortable and devastating and uncertain and frankly weird right now. And I'm supposed to stand up here and tell you guys some combination of super positive words to inspire you all to go out and change the world or something. But here's the thing. I, like you all, am only 18 years old, and I don't see why I am any better equipped than any of you to provide those kinds of words. So I'll just begin by telling you what I know. Our class has been through a lot. We were born into a world reeling in the aftermath of the terrorist attacks on 9/11. We attended school and witnessed the rising devastation of school shootings in places like Sandy Hook and Parkland. We have endured devastating storms like Superstorm Sandy. And the Yankees have not won a World Series in over 10 years. All of these events have brought on societal change. TSA is now a thing. Schools are constantly developing protocols in the event of a shooting. Steps are being taken to quell climate change, paper straws. And now everyone hates the Astros. It is an upsetting reality that in many instances, tragedies must occur before society experiences a change, but that is, in fact, the nature of change and invention. It never occurs without a need, and once the need arises, people often unify to find solutions. For example, in recent years, millions of teens found themselves with way too much free time, and thus TikTok was invented. Now we are being thrust into a world that is dealing with not only a devastating pandemic, but also significant social uproar. While I, and I'm sure many of you, am deeply disturbed and frustrated with the current state of our society, we should also be encouraged by the opportunity that is before us. We have the opportunity to be part of a generation that creates change in many facets of our society. There is no doubt that our lives, especially this year, have so far been populated with disasters, tragedies, cancellations, and for many heartbreaks, but all of this leaves us with the potential to create a better society. I know this whole change the world stuff may sound a little overwhelming right now, so now I would like to share a different message to help us all out. The message I want to convey is one which I first learned in elementary school at Cherry Avenue. As those of you who also went to Cherry Avenue know, our classmate, Cameron Riccomini, was a very funny kid and an astute observer of the human condition. We also all know that throughout our time at Cherry Avenue, Cameron battled a rare form of brain cancer. He handled his terrible condition courageously and with a sharp and sometimes wicked sense of humor made up of an endless supply of hysterical jokes. While Cameron lost his battle in 5th grade, I think that we can all take a lesson from him to deal with the times we are living through right now. The lesson is that we should all laugh and joke whenever we can, and we should not allow our current circumstances to get us down. But we should also pay close attention and handle our challenges with humanity. So try to keep your focus on the good in your life. In the wise words of my guy Ferris Bueller, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it. So as we are all navigating the uncertainty that is our society right now, just remember to take a look around you and find something to smile about or to laugh at. Take in a sunset with your friends, eat an extra dessert, spend time with your family, and maybe even tell a joke, Cameron style. At this point, there is no telling what may happen next. After all, we are living through some of the most unprecedented times in human history. But as we all head off to the next chapters of our lives, whether it be college, the military, or the workforce, I hope that you all embrace the opportunity to create change in our society and, of course, continue to laugh and smile. It has been an honor to get to know all of you, and I wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors. Congratulations, class of 2020.
Thank you, Lauren. For our vocal selection, I would like to introduce the winner of the Patricia Ann Cubell Memorial Award, a very special individual and a sensational member of our high school, Mr. Sean Gibbons, to sing Santa Fe.
So this song is called Santa Fe. It's from the musical Newsies. In the show, Santa Fe is depicted as a utopia, and I chose to sing it because I hope one day we can all find our utopia. Whether it be right here in Sayville or halfway across the globe, I just hope we can all find our happy place.
Folks, we finally got a headline.
We have waited for this day.
Sayville's telling me it's time for me to go. Guys are fighting, bleeding, falling,
And it's time to face the facts.
Sayville grads, it's finally time to close this show. Let me go far away, somewhere they won't never find me, and tomorrow won't remind me of today. 'Cause when the city's finally sleeping and the moon looks old and gray, I get on a train that's bound for Santa Fe. And I'm gone, and I'm done. No more running, no more lying, no more telling me just what I should not say. Just a moon so big and yellow, it turns night right into day. Dreams come true, yeah they do, in Santa Fe. Where does it say that you gotta live and die here? Where does it say a guy can't catch a break? Why should you only take what you're given? Why should you spend your whole life living trapped where there ain't no future? Even at 17, breaking your back for someone else's sake. If the life don't seem to suit ya, how about a change of scene? Far from the lousy headlines and the deadlines in between. Santa Fe, my old friend, I can't spend my whole life dreaming, though I know that's all I seem inclined to do. I ain't getting any younger, and I wanna start brand new. I need space and fresh air. When I'm laughing my face, I don't care. Save my place, I'll be there. Just be real is all we're asking, not some painting in our head. 'Cause we're dead if we can't count on us today. I got nothing if we don't got Santa Fe.
You got reason to smile, Sean. That was awesome. The valedictorian for the class of 2020 is an outstanding student whose humility is awe-inspiring, a role model for all, an accomplished athlete in the cross-country and track and field arena, a science and engineering researcher studying autonomous robots. It's my pleasure to introduce the valedictorian of the class of 2020, Mr. Brendan Dillon.
Hello everyone. I would like to speak on behalf of all my classmates when I say that we are grateful recipients of a Sayville Public Schools education. To our Board of Education, high school administration, and all our dedicated teachers and staff, we are grateful for your efforts in making Sayville Schools the wonderful experience that it is. In a special way,
classmates.
I would like to recognize the best dressed man at Sayville High School, Mr. Schmieder. After 41 years of service, Mr. Schmieder is retiring. We hope you know that you matter to our school and to this community. Lastly, I would like to acknowledge that while so many of us are going to college in hopes of making our lives better, my good friend Brian Velasquez, among others, will be serving us all in the military. Thank you all for using your gifts in the service of others. Now I'm going to give my speech that hopefully, for all our sakes, will go by quickly. Throughout our high school careers, we've learned a lot. we've developed skills that will aid us in our futures at college and in our careers. I can't speak for all of you. However, I feel that for a majority of my time in school, I neglected to learn about something much more important than art, science, and math, which is how to live a life that will bring me happiness and satisfaction. This is something that is obviously less straightforward than, let's say, a math problem. For example, a math problem will always have one correct answer and a clear method to use in order to arrive at that answer. On the other hand, the way to live a fulfilling life has multiple different answers and even more ways to arrive at that answer. Since each person has different values and goals, finding one aspect that is universal in people who live lives that brought them a great sense of joy is pretty difficult. However, I believe that I have found something that everyone here can agree with and benefit from to some extent. That is to live a life so that you could look back at all you've done and smile. This isn't groundbreaking information by any means. However, I feel it is something that people often overlook. I see too many people spending their lives and energy on things that they don't particularly enjoy. I'm sure that a good portion of people here either don't really enjoy what they do for a living, whether that be work or school, or have feelings of regret over something that they wish they did in the past. I know that I do. I regret letting school become the most important thing in my life. As a result of this, I sacrificed spending time with my family and friends. And the only tangible result from this sacrifice is a golden sash and the stress I'm experiencing while giving this speech. And while this golden sash is very pretty, I'm not convinced it was worth it. Undoubtedly, we all have goals, many of which will require determination, discipline, and self-sacrifice to be achieved. However, I hope that no one here will give up their well-being and happiness in pursuit of these goals. In Confucius' famous quote, he reminds us that if you choose a job you love, you will never work a day in your life. While what he says is certainly true, I believe it's not as simple as that. To choose an occupation that you are truly passionate about requires courage. The courage to persist when things don't go as expected, the courage to disappoint those who care about you, and the courage to find happiness and therefore success on our own terms. I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Brennan. At this time, it's my honor to introduce the President of our Board of Education, Mr. Keith Kolar.
Thank you, Mr. Hoffer. On behalf of the Board of Education, I'd like to welcome everyone to our most unique graduation ceremony by far. I extend this welcome to members of our central administration, to our high school administrators, and our faculty, most importantly, to our graduating students and your family. I specifically would like to take a moment to thank our families for their patience and support through this unprecedented school year. Getting through this type of year does not happen without the spirit and cooperation between our educators, families, and most importantly, the effort of our students. It is safe to say, as far as the senior class goes, there has not been a Sayville High School class that has collectively faced more adversity than this class of 2020. Taking on these adversities and eventually accepting them, we can only imagine has been anything but easy. Facing these many disappointments head on and making it to this point is even more reason for celebration. We as a school district and a community are extremely proud of you, as you should be of yourselves. As you reflect on this past year, there are many lessons that you may be able to take away from it. For one, many of you may not have realized just how much you actually enjoyed getting up at 6 a.m. in the morning. Distance learning has highlighted for us that school is not only about work with a pencil and paper on a desk. School offers us opportunities to learn through our interactions among different people with different ideas. It naturally allows us to foster a level of acceptance for each other. Having a level of acceptance for one another during these times has never been more important. As a society appears to be losing some level of this acceptance, whether it's accepting differences in our race, our careers, our colleges, or even our political affiliations. Society appears to be losing sight of what makes us all the same. We are all human and yearn to be happy and accepted. The more inclusive we are, despite our differences, only stands to fuel the happiness we desire and will collectively make us stronger. Naturally, in the coming months and possibly few years, each one of you will reflect on your years in high school and recall wonderful moments and possibly even some that were less than wonderful. What may not come as naturally for some of you, as it wasn't for me, is self-reflection. Taking a look within yourself and asking a few questions. Could you have done anything better? Did you confront adversity with positivity? Were you always accepting of others and their differences? These are questions that only you will be able to answer. These are also questions that, if you continue to ask yourself, will only stand to help you grow as a person throughout life. The wonderful thing about being a high school graduate is you are experiencing one of the most significant changes in your life thus far. Although significant changes like this can create uncertainty, however, it may also give you an opportunity to reset and make improvements within yourself. As you move forward in this next chapter, try to understand who you were, who you are, and who you want to be. Surround yourself with people who will nourish your ambitions, and do your best to nourish others. As Plato said, people are like dirt. They can either nourish you and help you grow as a person, or they can stunt your growth and make you wilt and die. As you move forward, nourish all you can. On behalf of the Sayville Board of Education, I wish each and every one of you the best of luck in your future endeavors. And I'm confident that each one of you will make us all and yourselves extremely proud. Congratulations.
Okay, folks, I ask for your patience given the fact that we did not have an opportunity to have a rehearsal. So, our graduates, you're going to file up each side. Right behind me is a diploma case. You're welcome to pick up the diploma. We encourage your two guests to also accompany you so that they can join you in a photograph. You're welcome to come pick up your actual diploma, because it's just a case, anytime Monday on. I want to congratulate you once again. Let's confer diplomas. Only one diploma case, okay? Congratulations. Thank you, Mr. Senator.
Lindsay Hirsch.
Folks, as you come up to take your picture, you'll certainly be encouraged and welcome you to take your mask off for the photograph. Big smile.
Matthew Grassi. Jules Intermasoli. Curtis Russo. Christopher Delaney. The Patricia Ann Kubel Memorial Award winner, Sean Gibbons.
Isabella Harris. Megan Hampy. Haley Decker. Khalil Kazmarak. Cole Dollar. Mia Francis.
Jenna Harklerode. Ryan Dover. Jason Gench.
Jennifer Hitchborn. Samantha Dunn. Jack Dunn. Gianna Ferrara. Caitlin Keglian.
Brian Donlin. Thomas Granger. Sean Giordano. Madeline Henke. Ethan Gross. Tarina Imperato.
Sarah Keene. Reese Jan. Juliana Itori. James D. Sabato. John Downs.
Jacqueline Canali. Amy Gallagher. Tara Donahue. Kyla Fitzsimmons. Christopher Fitzsimmons.
Megan Filosa. Jessica Kaczynski. Catherine Doyle. Kevin Golka. Kevin Gross.
Stephen Devery. Jessica Frackleberry. Angela Ervolino. Tyler DeBay.
Vincent Fiore. Arden DeCanio. Trevor Hodis. Marissa Dionisio.
Lindsay Grimes. Matthew Malone. Dylan Hanvey. Tyler James Karpowitz. Patrick Delaney. Mallory Kastman. Gabrielle Luthi. Nicolette Furno. The Salutatorian of the class of 2020, Lauren Flamenhoff. The Valedictorian of the class of 2020, Brendan Dillon.
Graduates. Super proud of all of you. Traditionally, I would now introduce the president of the class of 2020, Mary Vermillier. Mary's not able to join us, however, she has asked to have her speech titled, "It's All About Hope," imparted via audio recording. So, Mr. Aurelio, hold the tape.
Hello, classmates, families, Dr. Stimmel, Mr. Hoffer, members of the Board of Education, administrators, faculty, and staff. I bet none of us anticipated that this would be the outcome of our senior year. It's been really tough. So many devastating events. I don't know if we're going to recover. I mean, first we suffered the tragedy of John O'Rourke cutting off his man bun. Now this happens? Anyway, we've been home for over 100 days. 100. You can get a lot done in 100 days. I saw on Instagram this girl doing like a 60-day juice cleanse and got in crazy shape. I whittled a duck, but I guess we're all productive in our own ways. But anyway, 100 days. During this time away from school, I've had a lot of time to reminisce about some of the wonderful times and extraordinary people I've had the pleasure of knowing throughout my years in the Sayville schools. I thought I'd start by bringing up my beloved friend Cameron Riccanini, my cool math games buddy who loves Spaceballs and the song Can't Touch This. I bet all my fellow Cherry kids remember his hilarious comedy acts that stole the talent show every year. There is no doubt in my mind that Cameron is graduating today alongside the rest of us. Next, While this is a little unconventional, I feel it is only fair of me to recognize a few of the many people who myself and others have been blessed to know over the years. Humble people who brighten everyone's day, including my own, by just being kind. That's why I'd like to call out the names of C.J. Burkhart, Angela Ervolino, as well as Jules Saginario. Thank you for making people smile on a daily basis. I wish there was an award for that. I have also had time over these past 100 days to think back on some of the funniest encounters I've witnessed between students and teachers over the years. For instance, one of my favorites, I will never forget being in Mr. Finley's math class in 8th grade and him bringing up his dead dog Brownie for like the 100th time that school year. After telling another story of how Brownie does amazing tricks, he said, "Brownie is a good boy." And Brennan DeAndrea piped in and said what we were all thinking, but nobody had the courage to say. Brendan said, "No, Mr. Finley, Brownie was a good boy." And Mr. Finley's reaction and the class's reaction, it was priceless. Everyone looked so shocked but couldn't have found it more hilarious. Even though I have had time to reminisce on happy memories, it is important for me to acknowledge that these past few months have not been entirely a relaxing staycation by any means. My heart goes out to the families and friends who have been stricken by or have been indirectly affected by this virus. In addition, I would like to acknowledge all of our brave friends and fellow students around the world who have stepped up for Black Lives Matter. To quote the great John Lewis, "When you see something that is not right, not fair, not just, you have to speak up. You have to say something. You have to do something." Now let us all make a promise not to surrender to compliance. However, even on the darkest days of this our last year of high school, there are rays of discernible hope. Hope in the posts of millions who wanted each other to know that you are not alone. Hope in the millions of people participating in peaceful protests. Hope in the generosity of those who shared their supplies with those who needed it most. Hope in the prayers asking God to please stand with us as he always does. And now, my greatest hope is that you all come to realize that it's all about hope. To the class of 2020, we are learning and must correct the mistakes of the past to pave a new road for endless possibilities and peace. We are the future. I love you all and will miss you dearly. Remember, guys, while we are all living through what will one day be recorded as an unprecedented time in history, you can still order some of Joe's cookies. Good luck out there.
Thank you, Mary. All members of the class of 2020 have had the benefit of having a tremendously dedicated and caring group of professionals who have assisted them in achieving this milestone of high school graduation. And they are the teachers of Sayville Public Schools. At this time, I would like to recognize a group of teachers who have been selected by the students of the class of 2020 as teachers who have made a difference. Please reference our commencement program to find the graduate who recognized our teachers who have made a difference. For those family and friends watching our graduation program on our live stream, a digital rendition of our commencement program, including a list of teachers who have been nominated as teachers who have made a difference, can be found on our district webpage. The class of 2020 has been an outstanding class to work with in all endeavors. Our students, your sons, daughters, and friends have earned many significant honors, both individually and collectively. And they have been outstanding representatives of our school and our community. As I reflect on their accomplishments, I do so with a great deal of pride and satisfaction. The class of 2020 has made significant contributions in Sayville High School being named a National Blue Ribbon High School. We have also recently been recognized by New York State as a recognition high school, formerly known as a reward school, for the 8th consecutive year. At this time, I'm also extremely proud to announce that 92% of the students of the class of 2020 will go on to further their education, and that 99% of our graduates have earned a Regents Diploma this year. That's absolutely worthy of applause, no doubt about it. Perhaps what I have to say next is even more worthy, and it is. This is a time for celebration, an opportunity to recognize the noblest of commitments. I would like to recognize the following members of the class of 2020: Colin Bowers, Connor Brennan, Michael Contrin, and Brian Velasquez. These young adults will be serving in our U.S. military and providing us with the veil of freedom we have all come to know and love. Thank you for your anticipated service. Many, if not all, of the aforementioned accomplishments would not have been realized without the support and dedication of our high school's faculty and staff. I would like to seize this opportunity to wish 5 members of our high school staff and faculty well as they enter retirement. They are Leonard Cromwell, Ellen Gugliotta, Patricia Landesina, Betsy Quinlan, and Edward Schmieder. Thank you for your combined 135 years of service to our students in this community. I would also ask that you join me in remembering a member of the class of 2020 and 3 members of our high school's family who are not with us today, but are certainly smiling down from above and celebrating with us. They are Cameron Riccomini, Miss Lori Aaliyah, Mr. Dennis Fagan, and Miss Donna Papa. At this point in our program, I'd like to take the opportunity to publicly acknowledge and thank some very special people who volunteer their time to make our school district so successful, and they are our Board of Education members. Mr. Cole, our President, Mr. Cangelosi, Vice President, and Board Trustees Dr. Birch, Mr. Cooley, Mr. Devenow, Ms. Dolan, and Mr. Vidone. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your volunteerism. Thank you for your leadership. We appreciate it. I would also be remiss if I did not thank the people who make our visions and dreams come true, our central office administrators, Dr. Stimmel, Ms. Macris, Dr. Crescioni, Mr. Belmonte, Dr. Branscombe, Mr. Maloney, Ms. Gigante, Ms. Von Eschen, and Mr. Saperstein. And of course, the faculty, staff, our technicians who set this up in the rain. Thanks, Ken. Our grounds crew, look around in the rain once again. They did a great job as usual. We couldn't do it without you. We thank you. The class of 2020 has been a credit to our school and our community for all endeavors and in all endeavors. The class has continued with the tradition of academic excellence, athletic success, outstanding music, drama, and art programs and offerings, and of being civic-minded and being involved in helping our community locally and at large. I would like to personally thank all of our student government officers, as well as our advisor, Ms. Catherine Van Dorn, our senior class officers, and our senior class advisors, Ms. Allison Galea and Mr. Christian Dalla, for your leadership, your cooperation, and your commitment to the class of 2020. We have a lot to be thankful for. Bear with me. Additionally, I would also like to thank our guidance counselors, Mr. Dillon, Ms. Flynn, Ms. Restrepo, Ms. Stevens, and our assistant principals, Mr. Bayo and Ms. Lauriston, for guiding and addressing the individual and collective needs of the class of 2020. Thank you. Most importantly, I want to congratulate and compliment the members of this outstanding class for your commitment to excellence in every arena over the last 13 years. I can state without hesitation that the class of 2020 has been a remarkable class to work with in all endeavors. I applaud you for all of your efforts throughout your respective high school careers, and I would encourage you, as future leaders of this great country, to continue to be energetic, hardworking, and committed to your goals, and perhaps most importantly, to your dreams. It is tradition that at this point in our program, students would toss up their mortarboards. Word of advice, don't look up, okay? Also, on a more serious note, in order to be safe for yourselves, your family members, and our community at large, when you do this, please retrieve your mortarboard, your tassel. Please do not congregate, all right, for the safety of all. And at this point in our program, it is my pleasure and honor to congratulate the class of 2020. Good luck, God bless, Godspeed. Congratulations. Roll them up, guys. Have a safe drive home, folks. Thank you very much. Congratulations.